Yo, what's up to the second edition of the Play One podcast? And man, I got a few things I'm going to get into. No music items to touch on. I had something that I wanted to talk about, but I chose not to because I wanted to do a review on M's Godzilla video and song, as well as Royce's Tricked video and song, and talk about the Renegade track with Jay and M, and give my review on it, as well as my opinion on who had the better verse, which is, I'm going to have a segment on this podcast, but I don't know if I'm going to do it every single week, but that's something that I really want to do. It's a lot of songs I want to get into and kind of like pick apart and who had the better verse. But in any case, like I said, I'm going to jump into a few song reviews. And the first one that I'm going to jump into is Eminem's song Godzilla. And just what can be said about this song. It has a dope ass beat straight from the beginning. I love songs that have that. Like right when it cuts on, it's like you start feeling it. And then he raps from the beginning. So it kind of like just makes it a whole lot better. And just all throughout the song, Eminem has clever wordplay. And that's just what you expect from Eminem. And this song is filled with it. So if you like that, or if you just love that about Eminem, you're going to love that. And crazy lyricism, of course, only that Eminem can deliver. The hook is catchy. I love Juice WRLD on there. He blends in with the track. He doesn't throw me out of it. This is really kind of like my first time actually listening to something that Juice WRLD has been on. I haven't been exposed to him, but he fits on the track. I love the way his voice is on the track, and I could see kind of allure to what people liked about Juice WRLD. And I found myself going like, I swell truckers, I don't know, I love that part of the song or whatnot. But he fits on it, and I love it. It's catchy as hell. And after analyzing this song for this review, I realized what the song is actually saying is referring back to the drinking, which I'm gonna get a little bit more into when I talk about the video portion. But of course, this song is what brought upon the whole Godzilla challenge, where Eminem is saying 200 and something words in the 30 seconds or whatever. And he put out a challenge for people to try and do the same, and I guess he's gonna give out prizes and everything else. And I'm like, yeah, I really didn't think too much of it until they started making a big deal out of it. But the song is crazy. I don't know how I'm going to rate songs, but out of 5 for right now, I'm going to give it a 5 because it is bonkers. One of the best tracks on his album. As far as the video goes, it goes full-fledged OG Eminem with the craziness and weirdness within the video. And he goes crazy and weird. And strangely, I'm engaged into it. Like, I found myself just really liking it because it is that way. The best part is Mike Tyson punching him out. Enjoyed the hell out of that, especially the way he reacts. He's like, "Oh, M, oh shit, I didn't know that was you." Now, listen, just the way he reacts, I love it. Especially when he's up in the ER and he's getting operated on by himself as well as Dr. Dre, and then you see Mike Tyson come up in there and trying to help because he's feeling really bad with band-aids and trying to like help out, and he looks all like just crazy, like he's just feeling so bad. Like, that shit is hilarious. And I love all the Eminem clones. And like I said, this video, after looking at it, I'm just thinking like, since he references, alcohol, which is kind of like a reference to like him being sober and the rehab and everything else, it's just showing like what kind of like he experienced while drinking. You see a whole bunch of Eminem clones. You see a whole bunch of weird shit. 2 guys dressed like 2 Godzillas walking behind him, like just ridiculous shit. So I kind of like view this whole video as kind of like a alcoholic trip, and when he gets drunk, this is what happens. But yeah, and just getting into it, everything else aside, the tribute to Juice WRLD, loved it. It was real emotional. Like I said, this is my first time really being exposed to a Juice WRLD, something that Juice WRLD was on, and I even felt emotional about it. So it's like I can imagine how people felt who actually really like follow him and were major fans of Juice WRLD. And I thought it was done awesome. And just even what he was saying was meaningful. at the end, and he picked like the right thing to grab from him, and I thought it was like real classy. I loved it. The song, the video, I love it, especially the ending, tribute to Juice WRLD, a great way to end off this music video. So let's go ahead and jump right into the next song, and I realized that I say that like a lot, jump right into it, but let's just jump right into it. So it's Royce da 5'9" featuring King Crooked, and the song is called Tricked. One of the best songs off of his album. I love it. So you can probably already know what my rating is going to be. But I love the song. Just like the Eminem Godzilla track, straight from just the beginning of the beat, just coming on, it's like the beat is just dope. Like it grabs you from there, you know, and I just love that. And I just love how the flow, I love his flow in the song and just exactly what he's talking about. It's like he's literally touching on certain subjects that he feel is, you know, real in our society and everything else. And whether you choose to believe a lot of it or not, it's all up to you. But I love the way he does it. And like I said, he just touches on it. Like just subjects like the perception of miscommunication that's been given to us by like the media, the government and all that stuff, and us being misled. The music industry and their dirty dealings with artists and their finances, social media and how it affects us, the jail system, healthcare and wellness, black on black crime, how black people view each other, and DUIs, which is something that Royce is familiar with and everything else. And I love how he just goes in. And that's King Crooked touches on some of those subjects as well. And I just love that. You know, I just love how they attack the track and just both of their flows and just how it, you know, I don't know, like I just love it. There's nothing really too much to say more about that, but and it just continues and it fits in with the what the album is about and what the message that he's trying to get out. Like I said, the beat is dope, and it is a produced track by Royce, which makes it extra dope. And of course, yeah, he kills it. Crooked Eye kills it as well. He didn't slack. Crooked Eye brings that, you know, same energy that Royce did to the track, and he has like he rips it apart as well, you know, in everything that he's saying. And it just they add together, they just add up to greatness, and I just love that. Clever wordplay and well structured sentencing from just both artists. And God, I'm so used to doing movie reviews, but this song is just fucking dope. That's really all I can say about it. 5 out of 5. And as far as the music video, I love all the visuals and how it brings his words to life, from the guy speaking at the beginning and just kind of like enforces a little bit of what he's talking about. Images of money and just Royce himself, like just wearing gold chain, well not gold chain, but gold watches and stuff, like a typical average like rap video, and everything else being all flossy and everything. And just rap artists looking like they're being controlled by law enforcement and just people of power and everything else, and keeping blacks in order. That's what some of the imaging I got from there. And just the TVs in the background is just to symbolize like how they are manipulating all of us through like, just through the media and everything and all that stuff. I just like how all of that was given, whether it's in the forefront or the background. And just the girl who is running throughout the video is like, she's woke. And everybody else is kind of like mesmerized by everything else that's been given to us. And she just trying to get away from that. And then slowly everybody starts to wake up toward the end of the video. Like, I just love all that. And yeah, this video is just completely dope. Like, I just loved how everything was done. And if you have not seen or heard this song, which I really think that you guys should listen to the song, watch the video, and even just listen to the album, go ahead and do that. Definitely go ahead and do that. I will have the links in the description for like the music videos for these songs if you have not seen them, but it's really dope, really dope. And so with that out the way, let's jump right into Jay-Z's song featuring Eminem, Renegade. So right off the bat, the beat is dope. One of the best beats in hip hop that I've ever heard. And just a quick history. I'm not going to get into it, but before it was Jay-Z and Eminem, well, before it was Jay-Z song, it was Royce the 5'9" song. You know, he was gonna have it on his first album, but they didn't really end up using it. So M asked Royce, can he use it for Jay-Z's song? And Royce was like, yeah, they ain't doing shit with it, whatever. And so M just kept his verses, just changed the little part where like chicka chicka, and he basically, because it went from like, and Royce, he's the king of Detroit, and I'm the sinister, you know, he changed that to just chicka 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 and all that stuff, and just took Royce off the track and just added Jay-Z on there, which to me was just better, you know, better. But I'm gonna touch on that in a little bit. But listening to this song and really like listening to the lyrics, actually Jay-Z's part, because Eminem's part was the one that I really kind of familiar myself with. Whenever Jay-Z come on, I say some of his stuff, but I never was crazy with saying everything that he was saying. But listening to like everything that he was saying, I love the consistency with the story that he's telling about just how like the media sees him and everything else. And that's really what the song became about, is just the perception on the artist as like, and not separating the artist from the real person and just misconstruing what they're talking about and what they're doing with their art. And I love how Jay-Z breaks it down up in his first verse. And he's like talking to just the critics and everybody that has this perception of him. And Eminem follows suit with giving an outstanding lyrical performance, which we became accustomed to from Eminem. But he does this without sacrificing saying something meaningful, and he keeps up with the theme of the song, and he gives a perfect example of just how you're supposed to keep on concept, because a lot of rappers don't do that. And I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. When you think about it, why wasn't there a video for this song? I feel like this video, this is one of the, I mean, The Blueprint is a classic album. Track for track, it's a classic album. But this is one of them songs that should have had a video, just how popular it was and how it is now. Like, they should have had a video for it. I feel like it would have been dope. And then this is the first and only team up that I can think of, like, that M and J have been on. I don't think they've been on another track together. Was it Forever? No, they weren't even on that track together. So this is the only track that they've been on. So it's like, with them being on a track like this, even though M originally wrote the song with Royce, you know, it was supposed to be that shit, but this was a good mashup with the song. So you think, like, how come they haven't had another, you know, mashup together, you know, on another song or several songs? But, I mean, I feel like it's past overdue. Jay-Z drop another album, put M on it. You know, if M's next album, if he ends up dropping another album, put Jay on it. You know, give us another collab that's just like this. And before I forget, complete 5 out of 5. Song is amazing. Now, let's get into the segment of who had the better verse. Okay, so I'm not going to talk too much long on there or try and rehash everything I said in the initial review, but I'm going to just give my quick thoughts and let you guys know where I stand at. Now, before I even started like doing like analyzing a lot of this and that, blah, 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 like really analyzing the song more than I have before, I basically had it in mind that the verses that I really had memorized and really cared about was Eminem's. But that goes along with my point. It's all depending on your preference. Like me, I like a lot of lyrical type content. That's why Royce is one of my favorite rappers, or my favorite rapper, number one. M is one of my favorite rappers. And you know, Lupe Fiasco, people like that. Like, I love lyrical content of that stature. So it's all due to your preference. Some people, you probably might have some people that say Jay killed it. But the way I'm going to view it, while a lot of people see Eminem as taking the cake on this song, is that I know this might not be like the most accurate analogy, but this is something that I can kind of like come up with. It's whatever. But it's like Jay and M, like little kids. Just picture them as little kids, and like they have the same shoes. Don't matter what they are, they have the same shoes. And like everybody's mesmerized by it. Like, oh damn, y'all got the new kicks. You know when you trip when somebody got some new Jordans or some shit, like some shit that's like new and all that stuff. Like they got the new shoes on the block that no one else got. Everybody at school tripping out over like, oh, I love it. Da, da, da. Even though they have the same shoes, Eminem, his shoes light up. So it's going to bring more, eyes and more focus to his shoes because they light up. Even though they're the same exact shoes that Jay got, his light up. So basically, people are going to like look at that a little bit closer than they did Jay's. And that's literally what I'm talking about with their flow and like their contribution to the song. Is that Eminem, when he goes on the track, even though both of them are hitting on topics, talking about how the public and media perceives them and what they are, and they don't truly understand what type of person that they are and everything else, it's like M just brings a little bit more flair, more flavor to his. Like Jay, he just speaks real. He just talks to you like how I'm talking to you right now. No clever wordplay, no nothing. He just give quality lines, quality bars, and that's really all that Jay-Z does, and there's nothing wrong with that because like I said, he killed it. And then but M, he just does it with more flair. He just gives a little bit more wordplay and all that stuff. So people are just fascinated with that. Like I said, those are the flashing lights. They see it as just something that's really good, and so they like, okay, I like M's verse, M snap, M better, and all this stuff. And that's what people end up, getting out of that song, that collaboration, and thinking like, oh, M had the better verse, M killed it, blah, 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 blah. But both of them did great on it. It's just M, like I said, had a little bit more flavor and flair to his verses. And then also speaking on that, why, just personally, me, I feel like Eminem won. And I'm not jumping on the bandwagon, but why I feel like Eminem won. Listening to all four verses, it's like an amazing team. I don't know why they ain't did another track, but M's verses to me were both equal in par. The first verse is just as good as the second verse. The second verse is just as good as the first verse. They didn't go down in quality. And to me, Jay-Z's verses, I feel like the first verse is I ain't gonna say way better, but the first verse is better than the second verse to me. And I'm not trying to just say that Jay-Z went down in quality, but I felt like I really felt the first verse better than I felt the second verse. And like I said, in analyzing like this for the review in this segment, it was like with Jay-Z, it hit me, like the first verse hit me when I actually listened to the lyrics and what he was saying in there. I'm like, damn, whew, kind of took my breath away a little bit. No homo, pause, no homo. But I felt like Jay-Z, his first verse was better than the second one, and Eminem's verses was on par with each other. No verse was better than the other. Both of them were equal. So I felt like Eminem did a little bit better, in my opinion. So that's just my verdict. I felt like Eminem did have the better verse, but that's not taking shit away from Jay, because I felt like Jay, he killed it. Jay killed it, and it's a good quality song. It's a song that is just dope as fuck, that no one should just look past and just look at it like, oh, Eminem killed it. They both killed it. Just leave it at that. They both killed it. You might like M's versus better, but they both just did up the beat. Show how that is supposed to be. And that is my verdict on that subject. But let me get into what I mentioned before. Now, Royce, basically, like I said, this is his song before it became Jay's song. So I felt like it's kind of right that I kind of talk about his verses. Because like I said, M's verses are the same. He just changed up that Royce, he's the king of Detroit, and I'm the sinist. Just that little part is different. And then M just add like certain like sound effects to Royce's, like some both Royce's beats or what his verses or whatever. But other than that, the chorus is the same, the beat is the same, the M's verses are the same. So I already talked about M's, and let's talk about Royce. So Royce in the song, I feel like his verses were good battle rap type verses. But as far as what Jay and M did on the track and just the stuff that they talked about and how they went about it, I feel like Royce's verses wasn't up to that. Now, Royce, more than likely he heard the Renegade track, the title and everything else, and basically just saw it differently than how M saw it. Because when you listen to the original Renegade, Royce, what he's talking about is totally different from what M is talking about. And I felt, even just listening to that, like I felt like Royce's verses, even though they are good, they not are on par even with Jay-Z's verses. And even Royce said it, you know, when he talks about it, when people ask him about it, he says that he feels like Jay did it up. So it's kind of like, this is like certain things are meant to happen, you know, because I don't know where this track would have been had he not given it, had not Eminem asked for it to give it to Jay-Z, or if they ended up using it for Royce's first album. Like, you know, would this song have been as popular or as high, you know, as it is, you know, now, or even just as it was when it first came out. And in his verse, I felt so stupid because in writing down my notes for this song, I've listened to the original Renegade hundreds of times, and I just got this line that Royce says on the track, where he says, "Smack a hoe, grab a mic, being brought to y'all in black and in white. It's the new Joe Jackson and Ike." And I didn't get it when I was listening to it, but now in writing the notes and stuff, it dawned on me. Grab a hoe, like smack a hoe, grab a mic, Joe Jackson and Ike. I just felt so stupid because I've said it over and over because I know the verses, and I don't know why it didn't dawn on me, but I just like, that shit was just so stupid. But in any case, like I said, the verse, I'm not taking anything away from the verses. The verses are lyrical, and but it just doesn't fit how Eminem went at the track. It didn't fit kind of like the theme of the song. I guess it did fit the Renegade type name in a sense, but not the way M went at it. I felt M just showed the example of just how to do it. And it's not whack at all. It's just when you put it up against M's verses, not even just lyrical and how M went at it, because Royce could do the same thing. It's just what M is talking about compared to what Royce is talking about. It's like, it just don't match up. So I felt like it was the best and right thing to do when he gave this track to M to give to Jay. Like, I felt like that was like the best thing that could have happened to this song. Because other than that, we couldn't have got the verses that Jay-Z sped. Because like I said, he killed it. But if you haven't heard the original Renegade, or if you didn't know it, and I was just telling you something that you learned today, I'm gonna put the link in the description to the original Renegade, so you can go ahead and listen to it and just judge for yourself and what I'm talking about. So with that all out the way, that ends this podcast. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me again, episode 2 and all that stuff. If you guys haven't listened to the other podcasts I dropped on my channel earlier this week, I did a Take One podcast, as well as I did a box office talk, so go ahead and check that out. Tomorrow, I don't know, I'm going to put out another podcast tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing, whether it's going to be a Reviewers cast or whether it's going to be another Take One podcast, but subscribe and just look out for it, turn your notification bell and all that stuff. And I will catch you guys on the next video, but with talking about music, I'm going to catch you guys on the next Play One podcast. Again, thank you for listening, and peace out. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell, make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.